Captain America: First Avenger. This is the last movie before the final combination of our heroes in Avenger movie, and Captain America: First Avenger is the oldest Avenger. He was born before Second World War, and Captain America: First Avenger. Narrates the story about a very tiny, short soldier who wants to fight on the front lines of Europe during Second World War. As we know, Americas was not involved in Second World War until Japan attack at Pearl Harbor, but even then, American public was only hearing about Second World War, and the American soldiers were fighting firstly with Japanese soldiers, but here we have this story about this young, very short, rather weak person, man, and he wants to enlist into the army. He wants to fight Nazis. He wants to fight the Germans, and by and some and scientists discern him and decided that he has enough stamina, enough tenacity to be able to become something more. And we have also the story of our antagonist in this movie, Red Skull, playing by Hugo Weaving, which this actor is the British actor, is or maybe South African actor, is best known for his roles in Lord of the Rings and Matrix trilogy. And Hugo Weaving here is playing Red Skull, so a Nazi scientist soldier who is creating this new project outside of Nazi party called Hydra, and is successful because Hydra will be the main enemy of our heroes even in second Avenger movie. So Hydra, I think, is still operating in a modern time Marvel universe, and is still an organization which pose a threat to Earth and to United States of America. But I would say that from all of these movies, because usually Avenger movie finalizes some earlier explorations and adventures of our heroes, and Captain America: The First Avenger is the last movie before this conclusion in Avenger movies, and I would say that Captain America movies, and especially maybe let's focus on this one, is the best of all from this timeline, because it's better than Iron Man 2 and 1, that it is better in special effects, but our character is even well and more developed than in the first Iron Man, because here we have almost like two different movies. First part is about this great scheme that there is a Second World War, and it is this very simple but also very epic battle between good and evil, and we have also agents of Hydra fighting with, I think maybe Shield didn't exist then, but some kinds of American government were created or will create in the future this initiative. So Hydra is operating, and agents of Hydra, as the Nazis are operating even in USA. Um, so this first movie is more of a story about what is happening in the world. And because of course the Second World War is not something which was invented. It was a real event in modern day history, and not so far long ago. So we can all imagine that this threat of Nazis or some occultistic scientists of Nazis was really interesting, almost like in Indiana Jones movies. But I think even better, because special effects, for example, our hero Captain America is transforming because of this scientist is developed some machine, some kind of machine, and our hero from this short, very tiny, lean guy is buffed, is bigger, and is really looks awesome, almost as strong as Superman, playing by Henry Cavill, maybe a little less strong. And the story about Captain America, how he became Captain America, because American government wanted to sell his portrait as a unique super soldier, but also as a commercial for sponsors, for donors, but also for other recruits, that it is worth to fight Nazis, to fight Japanese armies, to protect United States of America. And sometimes these soldiers are laughing at him that he's so bombastic at times, over the top, and they just want to eat and go home. And he struggles, yes, because even though he was Captain America, he had this beautiful uniform. He was somewhat of a doll, of a product of American government. And we have this colonel, I think, playing by Tommy Lee Jones, which is ordering him different things. And only after that Captain America understands that he needs to be his own entity, his own hero, to feel right, and finally he's confronting on different occasions Red Skull. And Hugo Weaving as a Red Skull is the best antagonist. I would say that he's maybe not the best. He's even with Loki, but at some times I think he's even better than Loki. Sometimes Loki is better, and sometimes Red Skull is better. But as an antagonist, he is really well developed, because he's this rather mysterious. Nazi soldier. We seeing the scene when he's in Norway and he's trying to possess some kind of artifact from the times of, let's say, Vikings mythology reality. Um, so this is really interesting, and his transformation, because first of all he was this normal simple human colonel, occultistic leader, and then his transformation into Red Skull, play as a Nazi soldier. Hugo Weaving is really convincing, charismatic, interesting. And this struggle between good and evil here is not, because Marvel movies usually are, they tend more into action than into development of the characters, and the plot is usually very very simple. But here it's simple to understand, but the plot is shown us in such way that we want to see what will happen next. What are these plans of Red Skull, because this saga, the first saga of Marvel movie, was called Infinity Saga because it was about Infinity Stones. We didn't know that Thanos will possess all these stones and will threat all the universe. But here we have a story about only one mysterious stone, and they are not even called mysterious stones. So they are sometimes called artifacts, sometimes items, sometimes a great mystery, but it all connected well. So I think that Marvel movies are even better to watch after many of them were released, and then you can watch them again and show that the whole universe of Marvel heroes is connected and has some greater meaning. It has some greater. It have. It 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 has some greater meaning, I think. Not have. I'm unfortunately not native English speaker, but we can see that the plots of all of these movies are in some way sometimes better, sometimes worse, connected to each other. And I think that Captain America, the first Avenger, even though I watched him last, even after I think Avenger in Infinity War, so for me, knowing about Captain America was a period after many watched Marvel movies. I think that Captain America is the most serious of all of them. Is the most serious, the most grounded. The humor is almost non-existent. Even the plot of love between Captain America and this British girl is really impressive. It was simple. It was like a third plot of the movie, but it was really przejmujący in Polish. Um, because at the end, Captain America. Red Skull is putting a ship with, I think, nuclear weapons into USA, and Captain America is on this ship, and he defeated Red Skull, but he cannot. The only way to destroy this ship is to put him in the direction of the ocean, and he will or die or will be frozen unconscious, and he's with contact with his girl, with his love interest, with his girlfriend, and it is really we see the desperate voice of Captain America, her choice that she understands that he needs to, that their love is not as much important as fate of the world, as Second World War, and so on. And of course, the ending when the Captain America is because he was frozen in I think in an ocean, or was unconscious, and then at the end of the film he's in some special facilities of Shield, when they are trying to convince him that he was awoken from a coma, and these times are still the times of Second World War, and he didn't believe them. He jumped from the bed, and he's now in a modern day in New York, and of course he is shocked that I don't know, 60 years have passed, and he is finally alive, fully conscious, and the world, of course, changed dramatically. So I would say, without a doubt, that Captain America and Captain America First Avenger, then, and even Captain America Civil War, for me, are the best of the Marvel movies, because humor is not over the top. It is it is not a childish humor, and the stories and all antagonists in Captain America movies are worthy, and they are almost as charismatic as our protagonist Captain America. And of course, this connection between Second World War is interesting because we all, maybe not all, but we are still interested in Second World War. Still, there are some, not many, but there are some veterans from Second World War period. So for us, uh, this connection is even bigger, but it's more realistic. It is more realistic, and we also have this in the Captain America movies. We see that Captain America in some ways is invincible, but in other ways he's still as fragile as other human beings. Because in Thor, even in Iron Man, and in Hulk, these heroes are almost invincible in any way, even in a spiritual way, in a technological way, in a scientific way, even in a religious way. And here we have this hero who is very strong, can killing him is really difficult, but he's not as strong in other aspects of human life, in interacting with people, with taking orders. Oh, and we also have this very, I would say maybe not very, but still interesting story about his friend Buddy. It was, I think, his name, and he was lost in action in some scenes, and we see that the body, that his friend survived somehow, but we see that something ominous has happened to him. This story, of course, about Captain America and his friend also is interesting. We are really interested what will happen next, because we see at the end of also his friend, that he has survived. So I would say that Captain America was, for me, was really surprising movie. If I could choose the best Marvel movie from the first, because we have Infinity Saga, and there are phases. There are, I think, three phases, and Avenger movies will end first phase. But as standalone hero movie, to this point, Captain America is better than Iron Man 1, 2, Hulk, even Iron Man 1, and of course Thor. So I'm because in Avenger movies, Captain America didn't have as much time, important time, than other actors. Because, for example, I think the most important was Thor and Iron Man, because Iron Man took this nuclear launch and put it into space, and Thor was Loki's stepbrother, and Loki and their interaction was really important. Captain America, Hulk, and Black Widow were second tier characters, not so much important. But if we watched before if we watched before Avengers, Captain America, the first Avenger, we see that Captain America is really well developed character. I heard that he died in Avengers Endgame, but I didn't saw that, I didn't see that movie, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments what do you think about Captain America First Avenger. I think it is really good movie, and I would say that from the perspective of normal movies, I would give him a 7 minus, maybe 7 with two minuses as a normal movie. without regarding him as a Marvel movie in only in Marvel movies. But if I had to give him an grade from the perspective of only superhero movies, I would give him an 8 minus, or even an 8 minus. It is really good hero movies, and especially from the Marvel universe. It is really interesting. So I would give him an 8 minus. Let me know in the comments what do you think about. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? And how would you? What more would you tell about, especially about this movie?